Welcome to Wall Street Confidential, which you can get first and commercial free only on Real Money TV. I'm Alex Steele, joined of course by Jim Cramer. Welcome. Well, we're seeing biotech getting dragged down right now after Obama announces healthcare reform. Right. Is that overdone?
Well, healthcare is bifurcated. There are companies that are perceived as being life-saving, and the companies that are perceived to having Me Too drugs that have historically been charged, that we as a people have been overcharged. The big change that's happened here, and I think people really have to understand, is that the Democrats have always had a belief that the large Pfizer-like, Merck-like companies have not acted in the best interests of America, but the Republicans historically and the Congress people in the districts of the drug companies have historically said, listen, we're not going to let the government, the biggest buyer of drugs, negotiate, because then the drug companies won't make enough money. That had been the posture of almost all our allies. What's happened since this budget is there's a belief that everything's going to trade the same. That an Eli Lilly is going to be punished, and a Celgene will be punished, that a Merck will be punished, and a Gilead will be punished. Now, where we feel very strongly about in Action Alerts is that the Democrats have always been in favor of life-saving drugs, and that would be Celgene's drugs and Gilead's drugs. So they should not be down as hard, although they are, because they've been doing quite well for the year. So we think there's an opportunity. We've also, we sold some Abbott, J&J, J&J is now a pretty good yielder. Abbott's a growth stock. You could argue that those should not be bought right here until they settle. Apropos of what I've been talking about with the overall market, in the end, they're S&P stocks. So you may think that they have settled, but if the S&P trades down, J&J will trade down with it, even though the dividend is safe. So I look at the world and I think that people have to recognize that biotech is favored by the Democrats, even these Democrats, but regular pharma, and we sold Bristol Myers, for example, is not going to be favored. And the swing ones are the growth stocks, J&J, and because of its consumer business, and Abbott, because it has so much going for it in the future, are the ones that are really the battleground. So I'd be buying the biotechs here. We're looking for a level. Abbott and J&J, I want to see settle. I want to buy them. And I just, after this budget, can't own any of the regular pharma.
And Abbott, just to clarify, you guys were selling last week, but that wasn't because you were a believer. Well, it was a different
right.
story.
Well, I mean, I think one of the things that we've tried to do and why we're well outperforming the stock market is we made an agreement we're not going to take a pasting. Now, there's always a split between, well, Jim, if you're long term, why not take the pasting? And the answer is if you see it coming, why not dodge the bullet and then play after the bullet? And that's pretty much how we've been handling things.
All right, great. Thanks so much, Jim. And you can trade with Cramer every day with his Action Alerts plus portfolio. Email action@thestreet.com for a free trial now. And always read up on Jim on realmoney.com. Email money@thestreet.com for a special offer now.